So, hello, Costa Rica leapers, heading off very soon. So, my name is Millie, and I organise your trip with the lovely Zoe, who no doubt you have been in correspondence with, since the day you booked. She and I are kind of work very closely together. So, the purpose of today is to walk you through your itinerary so we get all expectations aligned. Okay, so just looking at my little list, I am going to rattle through your itinerary, your flights, your kit, health and safety, plugs, Wi-Fi, money, and all of that. So I'm going to go through each section and ask questions as I go. Okay, this is as much for you as it is for me. I just don't want to prattle at you. This is a two-way thing so that by the end of it, you know what you're heading into, you know what to pack, and you're feeling really organized. Okay, so let's start off with, I'm just going to squiz you down there. Let's start off with your team. Okay, 13th of February, you are a team of 17 at the moment, which is absolutely fantastic. And you will be joined by 3 gorgeous Dutch girls for the first 2 phases when you're there. So they're not on your team list, but they are coming via Chris, our partners out in Costa Rica. They also get other groups from Holland that go direct to them. And they've got 3 Dutch girls all on their own that want to join for the first 2 weeks. So I said, that'll be lovely. Okay, so to add a little bit of international spice to the team. So with regard to your flights, okay, let's look at that. You, on the 13th of February, you're going off with Air Canada and coming back with United Airlines. That means you need 2 visas, one for Canada, the transit visa, and the ESTA for the States. Do not forget to get those. They are absolutely critical. Okay, that's my top tip. Now, for those of you, let me just check. No, you're all pretty much doing that, apart from there's one Iberia flight. That's fine. You don't need any visas for that. Under KLM, you don't need any visas for that. Okay. On arrival in Costa Rica, there is no official visa required, okay, to get into Costa Rica. However, one of their requirements is proof of leaving Costa Rica within 90 days of your arrival. Okay, so if you're thinking, I know most of you have booked your return date. That is great. So just have proof of that return flight on you, whether you print off your flight data, your flight information, or it's just on your phone, but have it just in case one of the guards, the customs guards, decides to get picky and wants to see every piece of, information that they're supposed to ask. Okay, so that's my top tip. Okay, any questions about your flights? Visas? No? All good. Now, arriving at the airport, I would recommend that you all arrive, check yourselves in, get through passport control, and meet on the other side. Okay, Zoe is going to be setting you up, if she hasn't done it already, a WhatsApp group. So just get onto the other side and meet there, because it's a right faff, as you all know, checking in, and the queues can be big. So don't dilly-dally, just go all the way through and meet the other side. When you arrive in Costa Rica, you exit the huge doors, and the waiting area is outside. It's undercover, but it's outside. You wait there. Okay, don't go wandering off to find coffees and cafes and anything like that. You literally sit tight there, and our guide and bus will come into that area and scoop you up. Okay, so if they're kind of 10-15 minutes late because they're monitoring your flight arrival, so they'll be gauging it gauging, what typical time it takes for you to get through. So just stay put. If it's a bit slightly out of sync, they will turn up if they're not there already. Okay. So getting into your itinerary, the order of your phases. Now I have to get to a different spreadsheet. The order of, hold on. The order are, you are going to start with your Quepos Finca stage, then you're moving to the cloud forest, then you're going down to Natura, to the wildlife sanctuary, then you're moving down to Santa Teresa, and you're ending at Serenas, the turtle conservation, back to Santa Teresa for a final day, and then back up to San Jose. Okay, so I'm just going to take you through the order, each section, just describing the accommodation, kind of weird and wonderful stuff that goes on in each phase. So starting off on Thursday the 13th, you're going to be picked up from the airport and you're going to be taken to one of the hotels there. We are using at the moment the Bristol Hotel, which is about 20 minutes out from the airport. It's one of those local hotels, but it's safe, it's clean, it's nice, it's got a pool, and it's where you can just all assemble, get to know each other, get to sleep, and try and have your first night where you're going to feel all out of sorts because it's hot, it's noisy, there's masses of tropical birds, and you've got the jet lag to manage. So you're going to be up early, trust me, because of the jet lag. You're going to be up early and you're going to be whizzed off straight down to Quepos for phase 1. Down at Quepos, this is where you're going to live all together in a finca, which is a private house with a pool. It's kind of large. It's on the edge of the national park. And this is kind of chilled vibes. And it's from there, from that base, you will go down to the community centre to help with the kids. You'll go into the park to explore Manuel Antonio National Park. And you'll go to the edge of the kind of park. It's not actually in Manuel Antonio. It's another area which is famous for its waterfalls. So you will, in that time, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, 6 nights in this area, 5 full days of doing all those activities. From there, you're going to move to Monteverde. Okay, Monteverde is probably about 2-3 hours drive from there. And Monteverde is up in the cloud forest, completely different environment, and it is utterly amazing. We're talking, you've been in the jungle, which is kind of hot and sweaty. Now you're going to the cloud forest, which is cooler, and it's just got drippy trees covered in moss and dripping with kind of ivy. It's beautiful and a real contrast. Now, this is your adventure week. This is what Monteverde is famous for. It's famous for exploring the cloud forest by walking on these big bridges, which go high up in the canopies, kind of looking down so you can see the birds and the animals. Absolutely stunning. So during the mornings, you're going to be doing hiking. Oh, sorry, hold on. You're going to be hiking. You're going to be doing some reforestation when you're there and just general exploring. But every afternoon, you've got free. And the free time is for your time to fill it with all the crazy adventures that this area is famous for. The most common is the zip wiring. Please do it. It is so amazing. It is not like Go Ape here. Think Go Ape, but on steroids. It's high over the canopy, flying over gorges. It's absolutely spectacular. And if I can do it, you can definitely do it. And you can do bungee jumping, you can go horse riding, you can go on coffee tours. There's all sorts of things here. So every afternoon you can fill it with those types of activities. Okay. Then you're going to go to what I think is the toughest phase of this, which is down into the wildlife sanctuary, down into Natura. Now, this is hot and steamy. Okay, so the environment is your challenge number 1. And challenge number 2 is you're going to be getting up so early to feed the animals. So it's one of those crazy places. It's a government-run sanctuary, which is it's very science orientated. You've got scientists from all over the world that come here, and it's full of their endangered animals, which are on breeding programs, and it's beautifully done. You live on site. You might meet some of the scientists there, but your role is to help keep the show on the road, because they rely on volunteers for the feeding, the cleaning out the cages, for doing all sorts of jobs, really. I mean, the last group, they dug out and created a water bath for one of the animals. So there's loads of things to be done. And when you get there, you'll get your briefing as to what your actual roles will be. But I'm telling you now, they will involve a very early morning start with feed time, which doesn't end. They're fed all day. So from there, you're going to move to Santa Teresa on the Thursday. You're going to have a weekend off. It's your first weekend, which always happens. You get really, really busy, and then you arrive at Santa Teresa, which is the hub of our operations. And you've got 2 days to do absolutely nothing apart from chill and relax and explore. And you'll be shown where to go in Santa Teresa, what to do, what's good and what's not. But it is one of my favorite places in all LEAP operations across the world. It's one of those super cool places. If you think of Santa Teresa is the Ibiza of Costa Rica. Okay, it's just it's probably kind of 2 kilometers long stretch of beach, wild, empty beaches. You don't see it. Nobody lies on the beaches and sunbathes. It's just wild and empty. Then you've got the jungle that comes right up to the edge. And in and amongst the jungle, you've got clearings where you've got cool cafes that have popped up, playing cool music, sand, just mellow cocktails, smoothies, that type of vibe. Okay. That's what you're heading into. It's really fantastic. Then you've got a week of Spanish surfing, beach clear ups, hiking to the waterfalls, volunteering, walking to the tide pools, yoga, going to look at the help at Bionics, which is our plastic recycling center. So it's a real mix up of activities here. So 2 surf lessons, 1 yoga, just to kind of set the pace, so you can see if you like doing that, you could do extra of that in your free time. Lots of hiking. There's Montezuma waterfall there, which is one of the big spectacular waterfalls, which is incredible to see. And the volunteering aspect. Now, it's twofold. We are here. The whole of Santa Teresa is up against its fight against plastic. You will see on these Pacific beaches, plastic just rolling in every single day. And we're talking everything from a water bottle to fridge doors. I mean, and huge lorry tires. I mean, it just lands. But they are absolutely, tourism, surfing tourism is absolutely key in Santa Teresa. So they keep their beaches lickety clean. That is their main goal. And they've got loads of recycling centers. The whole community get involved with this. All the schools get involved with it. And Farrell Williams, I know, who knew, has built a recycling plant there where the plastic gets collected goes to America, and it gets converted into plastic thread and makes groovy clothes, and the money comes back. So it's really interesting, I think, hopefully you will too, to see how the world, a community can actually really help itself to keep its beaches and community looking good, and it's how it's dealing with one of the plastic threats. So you will, this week, lots of bits and bobs. Then you have another weekend off. Then you're going to go for your final phase to Serenas, which is up the coast. We work with 2 turtle sanctuaries. Asvo and Serenus. But we are, your group is going to go to Serenus, which is a walkway. It's absolutely gorgeous. And here you are going to help with turtle conservation and to see it in all its glory. It's a ranch, really. It's a privately run ranch, which was taken over by a family. And it was, again, destruction, covered in plastic. And they get masses of volunteers to help keep it free of plastic, keep the waterways running through the forest and the jungle healthy so that the wildlife and everything is in really good order. It is also one of the main nesting beaches for the turtles. So your goal will be to help clear the plastic off the beaches, help with in the hatchery, and if there's any turtles that need to be eggs moved or babies hatched, you'll be involved with that. But with all things, I can't guarantee you're going to see a turtle because it's like going on safari. You never know. But you know, you are going to learn lots about it. And fingers crossed, a turtle comes and lays its eggs. Let's just hope. Then on your final day, you're going to go back to San Jose, or back to Santa Teresa, just for a night and an afternoon to celebrate all you have done before you go back to San Jose. Okay, how does that sound? A busy adventure. So you're on your toes with this trip. No 2 days are the same. It's go, 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 literally from the moment you arrive. But I promise you, you have got 4 days of downtime. So that's 1 day a week. But there is other kind of downtime in it. So it's good to keep you busy. Okay? Any questions about the itinerary? All good? Okay. Now I'm just going to quickly whiz through your accommodation and your food and how that gets organized in each place. So starting at the finca, all your food is included, but you might want to go out for supper. Highly recommend you go out for supper one night because you go down to the harbor and it will be really cool. Okay, that's my recommendation. In Monteverde, breakfast and lunch is provided, but supper is not. And we don't provide it because it's much more fun to go out into the town. Loads of cool places. It's a very backpacker-friendly place. Small, it's cozy. There are places, our guides will show you exactly where to go and where not to go. So it's fun. At the tour, all your food is included, so you don't have to worry about that. And then when you get to Santa Teresa, only your breakfast and lunch is included, supper is extra. At Serenus, at the Turtle Sanctuary, it's all included. Okay, so I'd say half the program, all included. I'd say half the program it's all included, half it isn't. Okay, now in Santa Teresa, now I'm moving on to costs. Okay, because this is important with eating out. I'm telling you straight, Costa Rica is expensive, like eye-wateringly expensive. Okay, so think London prices and you won't be far wrong. So you have got to be canny. You've got to be clever. Now, where we book you in Monteverde and at Santa Teresa, there is a kitchen, so you can cook supper yourself to keep the cost down. Go to the supermarket, get some pasta, get some pesto, whatever you want, and just knock up a quick supper and off you trot out to go and have a few drinks out in one of the great cafes, bars, whatever you want. So it's up to you to work as a team to keep the costs down. But of course, you might just want to go crazy and splash out. And if you are going to go crazy and splash out, ask the guides and they'll tell you exactly where to go. And I highly, highly recommend you go to places where the Costa Ricans go. And I know it's eating pinto and more local Costa Rican food, but they're really fun. And you've got that local vibe. And before you know it, you're being kind of encouraged to drink something kind of that looks weird that they've made and eat their local delicacies. So I would definitely ask where the local restaurants are, as opposed to the big touristy ones, which are obviously more expensive. Okay. Any questions on that? Food. Okie dokes. Right. Moving on to, where's my little list? I'm going to stay on the money front. So, bank cards. I recommend you take 2 bank cards or access to 2 bank cards. Your normal bank debit card and a Monzo, Revolut, Starling, one of those types of cards which doesn't charge you interest every time you get money out. I would have as good backpacking principle $100 cash on you. You just keep that tucked away just in case. Okay. But when you get out there, you just get money out of the local currency out of the ATM. Good practice. This is good practice, safekeeping. When you go out in the evenings, you only take 1 card with you, which is going to be your Revolut, Starling. Okay. And on that card, you've got a small amount of your money. Okay. So you do small little transfers over. Okie dokes. The reason being, just in case you lost it, just in case someone got access to that card, they can't fleece you. They can't empty a huge account. They can only take out, the maximum of, what have you got in there? £100, the equivalent of £100 at any time. Okay. Does that make sense? Good. The big ticket items, what do people budget? Well, it all depends on where you're going to eat and how much you're going to drink in the evenings. Drinking, we're going to come to that later. But clearly it all depends. But rule of thumb, I would say people are spending about £200, £250, £200, $250 a week. Okay? On living, tinkering, just getting by. In addition to that, you need to budget for the big ticket items that you might want to do when you're in Monteverde. Okay. Now the zip wire, that's about $70. The bungee jumping, that's about $85, $90. Those are the 2 biggies that people do. So just have that in your head within your budget. Okay. Any questions on the money and on your budgeting? Nope. Okay. Wi-Fi, you're going to get Wi-Fi pretty much. Well, you're going to get phone signal everywhere. And when you arrive, the guides will take you to get a local SIM card, which is easy to use. Have you get Wi-Fi is everywhere, but it's a little bit sketchy when you are at the Finca, at Natua, and at the Turtle Sanctuary. Okay, those areas is a little bit dodgy, but people always manage to kind of call out and, check WhatsApp and things when they're there. I don't know how. It's probably just using the service. Plugs, you need the adapter, the Spanish adapter. No, the American adapter. That's what you need for Costa Rica. And now we're moving on to kit. What do you take? Okay, in your kit list, in your My Leap area, you'll see everything that is listed. Okay, I will just go through it to double check, it's all looking good. You won't need to take sheets or anything because you're going to Serenas and Asvo. But everything on there is for a reason. Now, I just want you to bear in mind, you can get your washing done throughout in each phase. It'll probably cost you about $10 a load. So that's easily managed. Less is more when you're packing. It's hot and it is sweaty. Apart from when you're at Monteverde, where you will probably need long pair of trousers or leggings, long sleeve shirt, maybe a kind of light puffer or a hoodie or something for the evenings. Okay. Lots of swimsuits and shoes. No more than 3 pairs of shoes should be going off with you to Costa Rica. No more. Okay. In Costa Rica, I would be taking a pair of hiking style trainers, which frankly are not going to come home, a pair of nice trainers, which you will wear in the evenings and going out and about, and a pair of well, I would be taking, and loads of people take either a pair of those plastic Arizona style uh Birkenstocks, or dare I say it, or suggest it, a pair of Crocs. Okay, I know everyone hates a pair of Crocs. They're fashion's worst thing that's ever been invented, but hey, they are so practical. So Crocs and those plastic Birkenstocks are absolutely brilliant for everything that you'll want to do out there. So no more than 3 pairs. When it comes to your luggage, it really is important that your main luggage is soft, no hard shell suitcases, please. The reason it is so important is that when there's so much transport in here moving you around. In the minibuses, we need it to be strappable so it can be shoved into the back, shoved under seats, strapped onto the roof. So it needs to be malleable. Okay. In addition to your main luggage, it's really good to have a little rucksack, or I highly recommend this crossbody bag, which I'm going to put in this follow-up email with a code, discount code. It's so good. My husband's in South Africa right now, and he's singing its praises, saying it's brilliant. You can put your water bottle in it. You can put all your money, your camera, not your camera, your phone, suntan lotion. It's just a really good size. So I'm going to send you the link to that. So that is on kit, which leaves me to the last thing, which is health and safety. Okay. Now, this is where I become a kind of mother cross teacher, right? So this experience is so not a school trip, okay? This is a gap year trip. You've all left school, you're all kind of big, moved into the big bad world now, which is super exciting. And we want you to have fun. We want you to go out and about in the evenings and let your hair down. But there is a limit. Okay, drunk and disorderly behavior, seeking out kind of drugs and all that type of stuff is a no-no. Let's just be, it's basically a no-no because it really upsets and destroys the kind of the team dynamic. And we've just had a group, not in Costa Rica, somewhere else, where it's all going pear-shaped because just a few people are drinking way too much and it's upsetting the dynamic of the group and taking up too much of the guide's time. So just want you to do enjoy yourself, party, have an awesome time. Just keep your behavior in moderation. That's all I ask. Now, if people get out of line, this is how it works. You get the guide saying, oh God, you're being a pain. Can you please just wind your neck in? Okay. You'll know when that happens. Then you'll get the guide saying, right, you're winding your neck in now. I'm actually irritated. This is your first warning. Then, because the one before is just a gentle nudge, just to warn you that get back in line. So then you get your first verbal warning. Then you get an email from me saying, yeah, it hasn't improved. This is now your written warning. Anything after this, you get asked to leave the program. Okay. So when I have to write these emails, it causes me so much stress because I hate doing it. Okay. So don't put me in this situation or put yourselves in this situation. And these situations come about and we get pushed to the edge when our guides feel that they can't keep you safe. Okay? Because that is our overriding goal throughout this, is to show you an amazing time, amazing experiences, totally off grid. But if they lose trust in keeping you safe and letting you go out and having all that freedom, then that's when, the boundaries come down. Okay, so I just ask you to kind of work with us, work within their parameters. You're probably thinking, oh God, she sounds so strict and like a kind of right old teacher. And I am, but I've got to just say it. And I literally, I never, probably twice a year I have to write an email. So it's not, it never really happens. But if I tell you now, then we all know where we stand. And the last thing I want to just say about the health and safety is it's more about the team. Okay. It's more about we champion team dynamic. I love traveling in a team. I take all the midlifer teams and I love them and what you can learn from being in a team, giving, juggling, and you're going to all look at each other on day one and think, oh God, I don't know any of you. Are you going to be my friends? By the end of that 4 weeks, those people that you might not have thought are going to be my friends will be your friends. You will love each other at the end of the 4 weeks. And it is a process. It is a journey of ups and downs, homesickness, needing time out, feeling overwhelmed, loving it, high five, low moments. You're going to go through it together. And the strongest teams, the success of a LEAP program comes from you guys really working solidly as a team. And if you do that and you support each other and drag each other along through all everyone's highs and lows, all the challenges you're going to get thrown at you throughout the 4 weeks, you will end that program on a high five, thinking you are just 10 feet high. Okay. So remember that team spirit is the essence of the success of this trip. And you've got amazing guides. You've got Zoe and Kirsten, who are young, fun, know this country inside out. They're great English speakers. You will love them. And you're going to have an exceptionally good time. And that's a guarantee. So, any questions? I've prattled on rather enough. Okay, so that's it. That's it, team. I am now over and out. So by the end of today or tomorrow morning, depending on how my afternoon goes, you will have a copy of your itinerary, copy of the Zoom call for those that couldn't make it, a link to the crossbody bag, which I think is awesome. And that's it. On you go. Happy travels. Go and make it the best 4 weeks of your gap year. Okay.
Um,
Any questions?
I just have a quick question. If something does go wrong, like how is that dealt with?
If something goes wrong, okay. So if you got ill, Zoe and I get team updates every single day with your activities, highs and lows. Now, for parents that are listening to this, if it is like we got at the moment, somebody's got an infected toe and a sore ear, we're not going to let the parents know. We're just kind of monitoring it. We will let parents know and communicate on your behalf when we need the parents to help steer and support. So if you were going to the doctor because you've got tonsillitis, yes, we would probably let your parents know because you're going to be given antibiotics and we will do that coordination for you. If you had a proper accident, you would be taken immediately to the local hospitals, which are throughout Costa Rica. Their private health system is fantastic. The roads to get there, absolutely brilliant. So logistically, from a going back to health and safety, getting you to good hospitals is very, very easy. Okay, so if there was a problem, we're on it. The guides are there to deal with it. We've got a huge infrastructure in Costa Rica. Our main base is in Santa Teresa, huge team there. And then you're out and about with the two young guides, but in every location you go to, there is also backup staff who are there to support, who you'll meet along the way. Does that help, Flo?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay. Parents in the background, any other questions? No? Okay.
I
Right.
actually, I actually
Yes.
have a question also. Um, I was wondering more about like post-program travel and like if there's any specific thing we should be looking at for that, or if we can like book that ourselves or kind of like work together, or if it's more of a solo thing,
Okay,
the process in general.
nice question. Okay, out of you that are here, hands up, who is considering would like to travel on after the program? Okay, so this is how it's going to roll. This is how it rolls with every program. You're all going to meet each other. No one's going to dare say a word. Week 3, end of week 2, week 3, you'll start nattering about, shall we go on, changing flights? What do we do afterwards? Now, our guides are absolutely brilliant at helping direct you. And if you get stuck, then I'm very happy to do a Zoom call with you while you're in Costa Rica to help direct where you go. Okay, I'm really happy to do that. You will have seen a lot of Costa Rica. Okay, so you will have seen all the main geographical places. Apart from going up to the Caribbean coast, you might want to do that, but you might also want to just go to Tamarindo, which is the equivalent of Magaluf of Costa Rica, to let your hair down. So it's, those are kind of the main things that you might want to add on to your Costa Rican experience. But a lot of people are now catching the bus over to Nicaragua, or getting an internal flight up to Guatemala and doing a Guatemalan kind of 2 to 3 week tour, which is very, very easy to do. So my answer to the question is sit tight. Others will want to travel with you. Onward travel is so easy to organize when you're there. And after your LEAP program, you will feel so confident to just do it. And our guides will set you up. And if you want a Zoom call with me to help plan your itinerary, just send me an email. Okay? But it all naturally falls into place. Just trust me on that one. And I encourage you all to not rush home. Okay? All good? All good in the hood? Right, I'm off. I'm hungry. I'm going to get my lunch. Goodbye. And happy travels.